What's going on, guys? We're back with our NAWCQ recap. I'm sorry this came out so late. I did get really sick like immediately after the event. I'm still a tiny bit sick. You can hear that in my voice. But I did want to get this out before the algorithm hates me and I lost all relevancy forever, and none of you will see this. Now, my deck profile is up on YouTube already. It's on the East Side Blue channel. But what's currently going on is I do want to talk about my actual NAWCQ experience, right? So I went in, I played a very standard deck. The only thing different about this deck is 2 Fenrir in the main, which was on the Patreon, I think, a couple weeks before. You might have seen it in one of the replays. I never made another deck profile after the sneak peek, which I didn't play Fenrir in because I didn't have Fenrir at the time. But, you know, in testing, this card was just okay. At the tournament, I think this card was just okay. I think if you played Droll instead of Fenrir, you would have been fine. I like Fenrir a lot more in, like, theory. But, like, on, like, an actual tournament play-by-play basis, it is ultimately a 2-of that is non-engine, right? It's not actually going to matter that much for how you play. And that can go for a lot of decisions in this list. You know, I've been asked, like, a lot of times, like, can you cut Mind Shuffle down to 1? Yes, I just like 2 because I don't like dead hands. Big Bang Key Theory or whatever. Can you cut Deception down to 1? Theoretically, yes, but I like more starters. Why do you play Pot of Sloth? I want more starters. And it's a lot of questions like these, right? Ultimately, the list you bring doesn't matter nearly as much as how you play, right? So long as you don't misplay, maybe only then will you start seeing limitations of your deck. And I think this did end up happening to me. So story of my event is I got there like 5 minutes before my deck lists were due. Biscotto called me and he was like, I'm going to play Mitsurugi because I feel like I keep losing to hand traps. And I was like, well, I'm not going to do that, right? I'm just going to go with Old Faithful. I don't want to do too much. I don't want to play a deck I haven't practiced that much, and I want to play the deck I have reps in, the deck that I don't feel like I'm misplaying with. So I brought like standard list. I didn't switch Mitsurugi or anything. And end of day 1, I was X3. And at this point, I'm telling my friends, I'm like, I really think this deck needs a 3rd engine, right? X3, 187th after day 1. I really feel like I couldn't control it at all, right? Against Cool Tune, I never misplayed. I just drew terrible hands, right? Like game 1, I would lose the die roll, and then I would draw 2 Ash Blossoms, and I'd be like, well, the first Ash Blossom is going to have to do it, and then they would Prosperity draw into Rotary anyways, and I'd be like, yes. Now you have gotten me. Today you have truly outskilled me in this game of Mental Warfare. Would you like to peek at my hand, dear sir? And they'd see a 2nd Ash Blossom, and then I'd go, Q, look at your top deck. I shall place the 3rd Ash Blossom on the top. And I'd be like, oh, how devious. But now I can normal summon the Ash Blossom, and then you can, like, bounce it back to my hand, so I can't even Dark Crash. What a tragedy. So I was feeling pretty bad at this one, right? I had accumulated 3 losses in the exact same way, which was I would lose the die roll to Cool Tune. Going first, I would open Ash Blossom game 1, and then game 3, I would see no side deck cards, and I would be like, wow, I sure hope this Charm You resolves, which, 50% of the time it did, and 50% of the time it didn't. And the times it did, my opponent would just flip Judgment and, Vanadium Reframing on me. So I was like, it never mattered. I got an SP Little Knight, Judgmented, at a point during this tournament. I was like, look, if I'm making SP Little Knight, it is not because I have a last play in my hand. It is because I am about to pass to you and hope and pray that you cannot back-to-back kill me, right? And they could. They always could. It was kind of crazy how often they could, actually. But, yeah. Start of day 2, I'm talking to Anthony Shu about it. There's a couple decisions. He played a Fiendsmith version of this deck with like 5 Fiendsmith cards in the main deck, just as a 3rd axis. And I was thinking, this deck really needs a 3rd axis. But anyhow, I go into day 2, and what I'm telling myself is I think I will lose. To be perfectly honest, there are 6 rounds. I don't think I can beat variance for 6 rounds, but darn it if I won't try, right? Darn it if I won't fight my way through the last moments. Darn it if I'll go gently into that light. If I won't rage against the dying lights of day, right? Rage against the dying of the night, right? So I tell myself, I gotta fight the good fight. I gotta at least try for everyone that supported me, for myself, for all the prep I did, for all the testing we did with this deck, for how good I feel like I've gotten, how little I feel like I've misled. I feel like I have to at least, I owe it to myself, I owe it to you guys to try. And try I did. We played an excellent couple of rounds. I'll pull up my matchup spread here, actually. We start around here, right? Round 10 was a 2-0 Vethmu. He bricked one of the games. I was like, dang, I'm nice. Round 11, my Mitsu opponent misplayed game 3. I was like, I'm nice. Round 12, my VS opponent misplayed game 3 a little. He played into Double Charm Me. First of all, I was nice for drawing Double Charm Me. But then he played into it, and I was like, oh my gosh, baby. We're in there. And then Round 13, my Cool Toon opponent misplaced game 1. They let me resolve like a Diabellstar into a D-mod, and then they put me on no other plays, and then I go Dark Crash, grab Griffoh, Mind Shuffle, clear out his cards. He can clear out the rest of my towers, but he just doesn't have like the interruption needed by turn 3 to deal with like 3 cards in hand, like, and 3 relevant cards in grave, which KT very often doesn't. Like, if you can put them on that 3rd turn, you will probably be fine. Round 14, Savage Pete was playing K9 Cyber Dragon, which we got through it. And then round 15, my KT opponent misplayed a little game 1 with their hand trap sequencing. They tried to Ogre a Deception when the Black Chaos was up, like the Ritual. I think they just got into their head. It was like the 3rd hand trap in that Chain Link. It was like Chain Link 1 Harmonia, Chain Link 2 Imperm, Chain Link 3 Mind Shuffle, Chain Link 4 Ogre, right? Like, really, really long thing. And at that point, you know, we kind of just went out. Every game that I went first, aside from, I think it was like 3 games specifically, 1 I bricked in, 1 against Vanquish Soul, I left an Anima in attack position, man. I sucked. I got Charming, and then I left the Anima in attack position, and just he hit over it with the Arc Rebellion, and I was like, wow, I do suck. And then round 14, I just got my board cleared by Cyber Dragon, and I was like, I was not distinctly aware that this was a possibility. I should have kept it in my head, but I didn't. And ultimately, that was how my tournament run went. We did win out at the very end. We ended up in 16th, which I'm so proud of. And far more than I am proud of that. I am proud of how so many people came up to me this weekend and they said, you know, I did good, right? Like, for the first time I got an LCQ, or because of your videos, I got an LCQ, I got top 22, I got Shadow Warren, I got top 32, I got top 33, I got top 64, right? Like, so many people came up to me and said, you know, I really love the content. Some people even thought I was funny, which is insane, ridiculous. I don't even know what I am sometimes. Sometimes I just sit here and I just talk for 5 minutes. The binary search video, a lot of you thought was my greatest work, which is astounding because I thought it was my worst work. But, you know, go figure that a bunch of Yu-Gi-Oh players like math. Ultimately, I am so proud of everything that you guys have learned. I am a college student who only works like an internship, right? Like, I have an excessive amount of time that I can put towards this game. But a lot of you don't. And to all of you that still tried, and to all of you that still made it out to this NAWCQ, and to all of you that did well and did something, even one win that you can be proud of, even one win where you feel like you played extraordinarily well, like you played the Mirror extraordinarily well, or you played a match against Cool Toon, where you outplayed them, you outskilled them. I am so proud of what every single person has accomplished. And if you have accomplished something great, put it down in the comment section. I want to read about it. Fundamentally, I love stories, right? I live and I die by the stories. I live and I die by runs like mine, where you go X3 into X3, where you fight and you keep on fighting. Runs like Triff's, where he went X2-1 and then he kept fighting until he won a YCS tournament, which you can't really do anymore, just because of how the new structure works. But I digress. I live for those stories, so put them down in the comments. I'll try and get to them all. I'll try and respond to them all. I'm usually pretty decent about that. Again, a lot of free time. I don't have a family and I don't have a girlfriend. You know, it's a sad life out here. But all I can say about the NAWCQ is this: if you came up and met me, please also drop a comment about that. I think it's a new age of Yu-Gi-Oh! I think we've done so much to revolutionize the content space. I think that people are able to get to high positions with just the ability of public knowledge, and their own playing ability alone says so much to me about how far this game has come since the Patrick Hogan days. And I am so extraordinarily proud of this community, but I am so excited to see how much further we can go past this NAWCQ. That's it. Have a great one. See y'all.